And I started thinking about how he suffered. Going into surgery, his lungs had disappeared to 13%. Imagine living every day of your life like you're underwater, drowning. I felt so terrible as I looked at his wife, Teresa, and his daughters. And I thought, man, how does this type of thing happen? I began to reflect on his life, and I remember when he began to first get sick, how we thought it would be real quick. You know, he would go see somebody and he'd be back on the scene in no time. But then 1 month turned into a year, 1 year into 2 years, and 2 years into 3, and 3 years into 6 years, to the point that he had to get both of his lungs replaced. But as I was sitting in that funeral crying about this, I was reminded of this powerful point that Paul makes in the Bible about our suffering. He says that the suffering of this present time, the worst that you go through, cannot be compared to the glory that will be revealed in us. I started reflecting. Every year DJ Official got sicker and sicker and sicker. His faith got stronger and stronger and stronger. So strong that as he was going in, on his way to the hospital to get this surgery that failed, he texted everybody and said, listen, if I could change things, I would not. Because it was through this that I came to know and understand the Lord. Listen, can I say something real quick? Say, talk to us, KB. This is what's so counterintuitive about Christianity. That the way that you and I win is through a loss. The way that we get strong is through our weakness. The way that we live is through dying. The center of the entire thing is a man dying on the cross. But here's the beautiful thing about this: that no matter how hard this world, our bodies, people may beat against one of God's children, He will always bring that person to completion. They will not be taken out by it. Can I say this real quick? I've come to learn that difficulty is a part of what makes me more like Jesus. I think about this preacher that was looking for an analogy. One day he was walking through town and he saw this man on the side of the road, and it was this very strong hulk of a man, like 6'5", all muscle, and he has this mallet in his hand and he's beating this piece of metal as hard as he can. You can see sweat coming down on him. He probably smells a little funny, and he is hitting this metal as hard as he can. And there's this man sitting next to him, this refined gentleman with a suit on and a tie, and he has, you know, one of those glasses that you just got the one circle right here and it goes into the pocket thing. Look real smart, right? And he's sitting there and he's pointing to the man, hit there, hit there, hit there. And he thought, in this hulk of a man's mind, he thinks he's destroying this piece of metal. But by the end of the process, as this other man is directing the whole thing, he's making something that will be beautiful and intentional and wonderful. And I think about how the world beats against us, and God is saying, hit there. No, not there, but hit there, hit there, hit there, because at the end, they're going to look like my son. One day, you will step through into eternity. Everybody. Like a speeding bullet, we are going towards that day when we will stand before God with nothing. Not our jobs, our careers, our degrees, our relationships. We'll have nothing. It'll just be us and God. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. I think about that day. And I think, what will I have to hold on to when I'm standing there? What can I argue with God? Like, hey, let me in. I did Christian hip-hop concerts. Hey, let me in. I went to Sunday. I went to church almost every other Sunday. all we will have to hold on to is Christ. And if there's anything in this life that makes that more precious to you, if it's loss or if it's pain or if it's circumstance that makes Christ more precious to you, that thing is good. Yeah. Because He, in the end, is all that matters. We will get to heaven, and I know we all got a list of questions we want to ask God. Whole list. Hold on one second, God. I got something I want to talk to you about. Why did this happen, bro? But I'm so convinced that when you step foot into eternity, holding tight to Jesus, and He says, you ready? Let me show you what I've been working on, what I've been preparing for you. You ready for this? You know, all that stuff that you went through, all the famine and the disease and the hurt and the pain. Let me show you why none of that stuff even matters to be talked about right now. You're going to take that list and ball it up and throw it on the ground and say, oh, Jesus, heaven is the answer. This life with you forever makes all things right. It makes all things right. If you don't know that type of peace tonight, you probably feel like you're drowning in this world. Let's just be honest. Sin just doesn't work very well. It doesn't. Normally leaves us hurling, like throwing up over a toilet somewhere. But there's something beautiful to be noted about the struggle when you feel like you are going under. Because it's at that place where God steps in and says, you can't save yourself, but I can save you. If we can admit, if we can confess that we are helplessly lost. Think about those kids in World Vision that we've asked y'all to sponsor, and I encourage you again to go do it. How if we don't move on their behalf, there's nobody else showing up to do this. Everybody's concerned about their situation. Yeah, we don't live like that because we had nothing we could do for ourselves. And He came and gave us everything. So we are an extension of that to the world. If you don't know that tonight, I got a song I want to do for you. I want you to join me because this is an everyday thing. Lord, you saved me. You will save me. And you are saving me. Save me.